Hello and welcome to the FilmSetGeek.com podcast, interviews with experts across all disciplines of film production. Sponsored by Axis Grip Hungary, professional aerial filmography and stabilised rig and grip services. I'm Steve Collison and my guest today is digital imaging technician Tamás Lippich. Tamás has been working in film and television for the past 10 years, covering roles such as cinematographer, camera operator, camera assistant, and most recently digital imaging technician, or DIT, and has around 30 IMDb credits to his name. Tamás has crewed on many Hungarian and international feature films and commercials, and through his production company, Peak Productions, has produced numerous Hungarian music videos and commercials. Tamás also teaches for the HSC, the Association of Hungarian Camera Operators. Welcome, Tamás.
Hi, Steve. Glad to be here.
Now, would you be kind enough to tell us in your own words what the role of the DIT is?
Yeah, and the first time when I started to work as a DIT, I called it as the digital camera assistant. We did the same as the camera assistant did then when they were shooting on film cameras.
Yeah.
Just the material was changed to digital footage.
Yeah, from celluloid to the digital image. Yeah.
And later on, earlier they called that it was the loader.
Okay.
And the loader knows everything about the material.
Okay.
From which film was good for this, which one was good for that, outside or inside, or which
ISO.
Yes, the which one was darker, what kind of silver material was in there, how could you work with them at the post-production. So this is what we do now, just with digital cameras. So
that's very interesting. So you see a direct lineage between the loader and the heritage of film and now into the DIT role.
Yes, because when I was start to work in the film industry, it was film time. We were shooting on film.
Yes.
And that's how I turned to digital image technician too. At first I was shooting for film cameras.
Yeah.
And later on then the first Alexa and Red cameras came into the market. Then I started to work with them.
And what specifically would be maybe one or two of the activities involved with being a DIT? And this is an onset, as you've expressed, as an onset role. What would be the activities?
I have to set up the camera right. I have to speak with the DOP, maybe with the director, and keep the contact with the post-production supervisor. And if needed, I have to keep contact with the VFX supervisor. If there are any green screen or phone or TV screen in the picture or in the shot, we have to know about that on time. And
so you're hands-on. You have a direct contact with the camera itself.
Yes. Yeah. As we called that earlier, we called that just HD technician.
Yes. Yeah. And you would be setting up the camera. You would be specifying all the various settings.
I set up the camera as a codecs, resolution, frame per sec, aspect ratio. What going on the outputs, on the camera outputs. Is on LUT on there, or the raw image come from to the monitors. I have to set up the monitors. So all the DOP and the director, or if we're shooting a commercial, the client have to see the same image quality, and the same lights and the same colors. We're working on set as a grading. Color grading setup and LUTs. We put some LUTs on the cameras.
So you would have your own desk, essentially.
Yes, a magliner.
You'd have your own magliner, and you've got a chair with that, and you're going to basically be looking at the color space.
Yes. I always have to check all the exposure. Sometimes we check the exposure as a continuity.
Yes, sure.
It's very, very important. And we have to always to keep contact with the DOP, what he would like to see. Maybe if the my equipment says is a dark image, but if the director or the DOP wants to see a dark image, sometimes to underexpose a skin tone,
yes,
it's better than exposure are in the right level.
Yes.
And after grading down.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to underexpose right on the shooting.
Yes.
But you have to find the limits. What are your limits? There is some details on the blacks or not.
Yeah. Incredible.
Or lose information.
Yeah.
And sometimes these are very special shootings.
Yeah.
If you're shooting a horror or action movie or something, but on a regular commercial, it's just better if you're shooting all the right exposure.
Yes.
Every images.
Yeah.
Because then the color grading colleagues have less work with them
in post-production. Yeah.
We usually set up it depends on what kind of codec do we use, but we usually set up the right white balance with gray card.
Yeah.
Or just we set up as, is it sunny or
halogen,
daylight or cloudy, and sometimes we put some color correction numbers after the white balance numbers.
Yeah.
So we have to check the color correction values as well.
Yeah.
It depends on, are we shooting next to a big window or inside a train or inside a car?
Yeah.
Because sometimes these kind of glasses where the lights come in, they are greenish.
Yes.
And we can grade it right on the set.
And the objective here is to get it as close to how you want it on set, and that's gonna reduce the impact. If you have to do too much in post-production, then the image can start to break down, or it can be more
we think and we work as if the RGB levels are in the same levels, it's easier to grade.
So
if you want like to be cooler or warmer later on, if the RGB level are in the same and it's perfect, then it's easier to grade it.
Got it. So that's the red green
yes,
the red green blue. Yeah.
So if these values are in the right, that's how we do it.
Very good. All right. So what I'd like to do is if we could talk a little bit about your career first, and then we'll get into some more of the specifics of your actual DIT process. So we've already mentioned that you've worked as a cinematographer, or you continue to work as a cinematographer, camera operator, camera assistant, as well as DIT. So how did you get into the film business?
I started in the film business after a photo shooting. I like to shoot photo when I was a kid. When I don't know. I just learned from my father. With analog cameras. And I start to make some tests with flashlights from the outside and long exposure.
Cool. Yeah.
But strobe.
Yes.
And with extreme sport, and it was one long shot during the night with a strobe light, and the BMX rider was like 12 times on an image.
Very cool.
During the trick, jump 180 from a stairs or somewhere.
Wow.
So I start my career with a photo shooting, and that's how I went into. In my neighbor was a video editing studio. I went there. I started to learn how to edit videos. It was an online set with Edius, and that time was HDV was new. After the SD, it was 1440 something HDV. And there was new computers, and we can edit it and grading and stuff like that. So I started with the digital grading and editing, and then there was some cameras. I went to shoot. My boss rent out the camera.
Yeah.
And I was the technician who go with.
Yes.
Who went with the camera, and then there was a camera technician.
Yeah.
And then one of my old friends, we met in the film factory.
Yeah.
In Mofilm, in Ronauta. And he said, he doesn't work with digital cameras. He works just with film cameras, and there is a school where I can learn this, how to work with analog, big RE and movie cam and Panavision film cameras. Yeah. And I went at that school. Yeah. It was the HSC school. Uh-huh. And I started to learn how and be a camera assistant to a film camera. Yeah. And after that I work in film productions as a camera assistant and video assistant and stuff like that. And after that, big film cameras start to start to making digital cameras. Yeah. And I never forget the first shooting in Hungary with a Ori Alexa. Uh-huh. I was in there.
Really?
And there was a big name.
So that's the first Arri. It's the first Arri Alexa digital. Yeah, the first Arri model, which was the Alexa.
Yes, in Hungary.
Yeah, and yeah.
The first shooting with Alexa in Hungary, I was there. Yeah. With a big teacher of mine, Pisti. Uh-huh. He's the HD king of the production. So everyone knows him. And I was assistant of him for 3 or 4 years. Yeah. And he was the first DIT in Hungary. Yeah. And that's how I learned this business. Yeah. The DIT business, and that's how somehow I just stuck in. Yeah. Sometimes I went as a camera assistant and exam film as a focus puller and stuff like that. But I like the working with digital footages, with computers, converting, checking the exposure, checking the image quality. I just became to work as a DIT. Yeah. But it sounds like you're pretty flexible. You've also had you've been running Peak Productions as a production company, so you're able to turn your hand to most of the disciplines within filmmaking as well. So. Yes, because after when I started to shoot my own films when I was younger, I felt love in filmmaking. Yes, somehow. Yes, sure. After that, I was shooting my own films. Yeah, and I know all the process of editing and the. And what they like or what not, what kind of music, what kind of color grading, and it doesn't matter which department are you working on. Yes. But if you shoot your own film, it doesn't matter if it's just 1 or 10 or 400. Yeah. But if you shoot your own film, everything is so important. Absolutely. And how to work in a big team and what is your job and what is not. Yes. Yeah. And after that, and when I was start to learn and studying more to be a cinematographer, then I knew how important to be a good camera assistant. Yeah. Right. To be always next to be there. Don't ask if you don't want to. Sure. You don't have to be as quiet as you can. Yeah. Always thinking ahead with the director, checking what they are talking about, the director and the DOP. Yeah. And then I know how to be a better camera assistant after that. And And what do you enjoy most about the whole filmmaking process? I have no idea. Okay. I love it. Yeah. I don't know why. Yeah. But sometimes I just felt when I'm at the shooting
Yeah.
I'm always smiling.
Yeah.
And they don't know why I'm smiling so much. What
Yeah.
did you have?
Yeah.
Do you have worse?
Yeah.
And they said it's nothing. I just love to be here.
Yeah.
The big lights, the very good camera gear, the dolly.
Yeah. And there's a buzz, like a professionalism. Everyone.
Yeah. The crew.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just like the work with these equipments. It's kind of like a Lego, a play, a game.
Yeah.
For
adults.
For adults.
Yeah. Cool.
I love it. It's always just.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so then let's perhaps talk a little bit more about your general process as a digital imaging technician, and talk a little bit about the productions that you get involved with. So my first question would be, how do you get to be involved with the productions that you've worked on so far? Is it through contacts, through production companies that you've worked with in the past, or agencies? How do you come to the table with the film productions?
In the Hungarian system, there is 3 ways to work in a production.
Mm-hmm.
If, for example, if it's the international production, and there is a international DOP come here, then I have to send my CV to the Hungarian productions, and that's how we start to connect with.
Yeah.
And Hungarian feature films or commercial. The DOPs can call me if they like to work with me.
Yeah.
And the third one, if sometimes the focus pullers, as the head of the camera crew, they have to set up the crew members. All the videos is the DIT, the camera assistant, and that's how I can involve the production.
Got it. And at what stage do you become involved with the production? So if we look at the screenwriter, then they're 2 years ahead. DOP would maybe be a couple of months ahead of the production beginning. At what point do you come in and get involved with the production as a DIT?
In a feature film, they invite me a couple of pre-production meetings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's very important to set up the camera resolution and codecs.
Got it.
Because they don't like to. I like always to shooting the biggest and the coolest resolution and the biggest data.
Yes.
The biggest quality, the best quality. I always like to shoot with the best quality.
Yeah.
But sometimes the Hungarian productions, they couldn't allow it.
Yeah, because there's too much data and that costs a lot in terms of storage and also processing.
And that's why we have to set up how to shoot it.
Got it.
The last feature film where I was working, we set up several setup because it was specified with camera techniques as well.
Yeah.
Is there is a shaking or not?
Yeah, handheld.
2K handheld or not?
Yeah.
Are we gonna zoom in or not? Or are we gonna rotate in the image?
Sure.
Or it depends on how much VFX post production are we work with.
Yes.
So there are several different setup.
Yeah.
So that's in this kind of feeling that in this part then they involve me to the production.
So that sounds like
it's
they've
much
already
more later than the storyboard and
of course,
whatever,
yes, absolutely. But it sounds like they've already made the decision about the camera package.
We started to talk about.
Or you're involved with that discussion. You can be involved.
They just say me what's their plan, and sometimes I can make some.
You might be able to influence.
I can make some
suggestions.
Yes.
Okay, got it. So it's around about that time, the camera decision making.
Sometimes we were changing cameras because they were shooting in a better quality, but they always want to go with a higher frame rate.
Yes.
And I said, okay, if we have possibilities to change camera, it's better camera for that.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. But then the other end of the spectrum would be that maybe it could even be 1 or 2 days before if it's not that sort of production. Week. Okay.
At the last commercial when we were working in, I called the DOP 1 week before the commercial to set up the camera, and I have to call the camera rental as well.
Yeah.
To how many cards do we need?
Got it.
How many slow motion? Do they want to shoot it?
Yes.
Shoot.
Yeah.
And is there any sound or not?
Mm-hmm.
Do they need to convert on location or making dailies on set, or it's enough to do it later?
Yeah.
And I have to ask the production to buy enough hard drives.
Got it. Yeah.
So that's why usually I start to pre-plan or...
Sure. So you're really connected...
1 week before.
Yeah, so 1 week. So you're really connected with a lot of the decisions that get made with the camera and what the data environment is going to be.
And so before the shooting, I have to talk with the DOP, the production manager, maybe the focus puller, sometimes the gaffer.
Yeah.
And what is very, very important, the post-production supervisor.
Got it. Yeah.
And if needed, and if we shoot with, the VFX supervisor.
Yes.
And that's why we have to start to talk 1 week before. If it's a commercial. If it's a feature film, then it's months.
Yes. Yeah.
So a couple phone calls and emails.
Yes.
And that's how we set up.
Good, because the decisions that you're going to be making at that point could impact everything. They could impact the VFX is going to have a very particular role. It's if the editing approach, the DI, the post production, every decision that gets made is going to be impacting all of these departments.
One of the feature films, there was a big decision, and we couldn't make a good point to shoot on 24 or 25.
Okay.
We wanted to shoot on 24
frames per second.
But the sound guys doesn't like to shoot to 24 because it's not as good as the 25 for the sound.
Incredible.
And then we have to make another decision. So if we go to a street and we have a couple scene on a regular street, and we would like to shoot in slow motion, and if you work on 24, it start to outside the regular lights start to flickering, everything, the coffee shop, the regular lights, the traffic lights, everything start to flickering if you shoot in 48, not with 50. And that's why we always have to make decision with the gaffer, audio guy.
Incredible! I didn't realize it was the a decision such as the frame rate will have such an impact.
Shoot in 24, and then 25, and after that we have to convert it 24. We lose some image or we lose some quality, and the sound guy said it's not okay for him to. Everything they mastering everything with the sound, and after that when they finished they have to convert it to different
that's
format.
Extraordinary, different format. That's extraordinary. So then we talked about the preparation in terms of the camera packages. Is there any specific preparation that you do in advance of a particular day? So it's the night before, and what does that involve?
Factory reset.
Okay.
I don't know who worked with the last time with that camera. I always start with the factory reset.
So that's on the morning of the shoot, basically. Yeah. Okay.
Usually we do have a camera test 1 day before the shooting.
Got it. Yeah.
We go there. Turn off. Set up. Check the wireless transmitter. The focus system. I check the sensor with the magnifier. There's no scratch on it, nothing. Everything works perfectly, and I set up the monitors as well. We shoot a sharpness test. I shoot, I checked with the color chart or something like that.
Yeah.
We made some tests like this.
Got it. Yeah.
And we make sure everything works and everything is compatible with all the accessories are compatible.
Yeah, compatible. Yeah.
Compatible.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then in terms of the actual shoot itself, so what time are you typically arriving on set? What time is your call time? Is it aligned with the DOP? Is it earlier?
Earlier.
Yeah.
A half an hour or an hour earlier than the DOP.
Okay.
It depends on the location.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more.
Yeah.
And sometimes it depends on which gear do we use at first.
Yes.
For example, if we start to shoot with a techno crane, or a big equipment, or a car rigging, or a trailer, sometimes that's gonna be a 1 hour pre-call for us.
Got it.
And for the grip.
Yes. So you'd be aligned with the grip,
yes.
more or less. Yeah. Okay.
No grip less. It depends on what we start to shoot with.
Yes. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you arrive on set. Are you responsible for unpacking camera, or with the assistants and assistant camera operator? Are you responsible for setting up your monitors, your bank of screens? What are you hands-on with? Is everything in cases and you're unpacking it?
Yes, we go with the camera crew.
Yeah.
Camera crew start to build up the camera.
Yeah.
As they start with.
Yes.
It doesn't, as we were talking about, is a Steadicam or tripod or handheld or whatever.
Yeah.
I check the sensor again.
Yeah.
I check the setup again. I load the camera. All the cards.
Got it.
And the data. Is my job.
Yeah.
As a loader, as we were talking about earlier on.
Yeah.
So the cards, load the cards in, check the sensor, and check all the frame rates, frame guides, outputs, and monitoring. Yeah. And after that, if the camera is working, is camera ready to shoot, the director or the client or everyone who has to see a monitor, they can see a perfect image on monitor. Then I start to set up my gear. Yeah. Because then they can start to use the camera as for lighting,
for framing, lighting and
framing, staging, the actors, stuff like that. I still have time to set up my stuff, my computers. Yeah. I usually use 2 or 3 computers. Yeah. Just one for checking images. Yeah. And checking playbacks and continuity stuff with lighting. Yeah. One is for data handling and making the copies and backups with the special softwares. Yeah. And if needed, I use a third one, Mac Pro, for converting. For? Convert. If you're shooting big data or RAW or 6K RAW, but the editor needs a full HD proxy. Yes. I have to make the dailies. Got it. On set. Yeah. With the loot on it. Got it. But they want to use it. Yeah. If we grading something. Yeah. A cooler, warmer. Yeah. Sharper, something what we. Got it. What we use on set. Yeah. Lookup table.
So the LUT, the lookup table. So you're laying that on top, and then you're down converting that to a more manageable file size. Yes. Yeah. To full HD or.
And it depends on what kind of production it is. Yeah. But I send it to the post-production. Yeah. Office. Yeah. Here in Hungary, or upload via internet. And
if it's off,
and then they can start to work with it. Yeah.
And then who do you liaise with on set? So I know that on set there can be a lot of hierarchies. People in departments should be talking to their superior and not going across and talking to different departments. Who do you liaise with directly? Do you work have discussion just with the director of photography, the DOP, and the assistant camera operators, or how does it work? Who can and who do you talk to on set?
Most of the time I check the same monitors and the same my gears with the gaffer. Okay. We talk a lot about the lighting.
Okay. Yeah. So the gaffer's responsible for the lighting. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah. DOP and then the camera crew.
Yeah. Yeah.
We check the image with the gaffer. Yeah. I made some suggestion to the DOP.
Yeah.
And if he said okay,
Yeah.
I asked the camera crew to set up the camera.
Got it.
Or I do it.
Yeah. But in general, for your activities on an hour-to-hour basis, all activities, if you see a decision that needs to be made, you talk to the DOP.
Yes.
And then you would decide who takes what action. But that's your line. That's your line.
At first, I have to show it. I'm the assistant of DOP.
Got it. Yes. Yeah.
My job is
to support them.
Yes, under.
Mm-hmm. And do you have contact with the director? Does the director often get involved with what you're doing?
Yes.
Yeah.
It depends on the director as well. But the last feature film that I was working, he was very technical guy.
Yeah.
He knows what we are talking about.
Got it. Yeah.
And he has some ideas what he wants to do during camera technical setups.
Yes.
For example, like, I don't know how to explain, but
yeah.
longer exposure.
Sure.
Or it's if you don't shoot with the shutters, playing with the shutter speed.
Yes.
Playing with the changing resolution.
Yeah.
He very knows what a camera can do.
Yes.
And what it's good for.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we make always some changing.
Got it.
Changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It depends on the director.
Got it.
Sometimes he doesn't know what we are working on, or what are our options.
Yes. Yeah.
But this guy was very, very technical guy.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. And then we've talked about the main activities then that you do on set are everything to do with the camera, setting it up, not from a lens point of view, but in terms of the electrical side of the technical side. We've talked about the preparing the screens, preparing so that everyone can see what's happening with the shot, and we've also talked about you looking at the color space. Would those three things cover it, or maybe yeah?
Yes, three things.
Yeah.
Camera setup.
Yeah.
Image quality.
Yeah.
Color grading.
Yeah.
And the fourth is the data handling.
Yes.
And the safety of the data.
Yeah. Yeah.
And after that, the converting.
Yeah.
If you need it or not.
Out of those four areas, which do you consider requires the most skill and is the most technically intensive part? My impression would be the color aspect, or
is the more interesting.
Yeah.
But it's not the most important, I think.
Got it. Yeah.
The most important is setup.
Yeah.
The first and the fourth.
Yeah.
If there is any problem.
Yeah.
Is a big mistake and you couldn't manage.
Yeah, got it. So that's in terms of
the exposure.
Yeah.
There is a lot of what you can do later on.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
The color,
yeah.
It doesn't matter because we just playing with the colors on set, but we still recording log C or raw images.
Yeah.
And we put the final colors later on.
Got it. Yeah.
In a perfect color grading studios.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big monitors or projectors, or it depends on what the TV or cinema screen.
Yeah.
And but if you make some mistakes at the camera setup or at the data,
yeah, sure,
that's a big problem.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, you couldn't. Sometimes my girlfriend asking what I'm doing at the shooting, and sometimes I bring my job home.
Yeah.
Bring it home.
Yeah.
And she saw me as copying data.
Yeah.
And checking images and just playing with my computers. And what are you doing? And that's it. Yeah. That's little card.
Yeah.
And I said, you know how many people works are in that little card?
Yeah.
Even if I lose it or something broken or these little cards became very expensive cards.
Yeah, absolutely.
If the data is on there, and still it's not in 3 other hard drives.
Yeah. Yeah.
With backups and backups and backup and master and copy and whatever.
Yeah.
So these little cards became very expensive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because our big crew works and 100 people.
Yeah, cast and crew, mobilized, locations.
Even the pre-production.
Yeah.
You couldn't imagine in a big film.
Yeah.
How long is the pre-production?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
Just for setup up.
Yeah.
And even better, and then after the shooting, action scene, you fired up cars.
Yeah, you blew up a car.
Stunt.
Yeah.
Jump from the 11th floor.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
A lot of.
It's everything. Yeah, absolutely. And so. The film set can be a high pressure environment. Do you feel not for you?
Not for me.
You don't. Do you? So you don't feel pressure, or are there times when you feel pressure?
It's very. No. It was like 1 or 2 times when I felt pressure.
Yeah. So essentially, as long as you've got the time you are part of the crew that gets in earlier, you've got time to get things right. If those are the circumstances, then you shouldn't feel pressure, because it's about planning and it's about preparation and it's about knowing what steps to take well ahead of the shooting time.
The other things we are under pressure.
Yeah.
That's what we called Andy Raleigh.
When
the sun goes down.
Okay.
And we have to change filters and check the picture
every 10-15 minutes. Something? Yeah. Okay.
And we were
ND, neutral density Raleigh.
Yes, ND Raleigh. Yeah, that's what we call it. Every shot. Okay, change filter. Okay, we have to shoot. We're gonna lose the sun. Okay, we have to shoot, but we have to change filter. There is no time to change filter. But if we don't change filter, the exposure won't be good. So we have to change filter. Okay, but fast, and it looks like we are under pressure, but I love it.
Yeah, okay,
and I always go there and okay, guys, it's 10 minutes and we start the ND Raleigh.
Yeah. That's great. Very good. And then just finally, in terms of the end to end. Do you have much involvement during the post-production period, or do you hand over? Is the wrap day, the shooting wrap day, your wrap day, or do you get involved with the post-production, the DI, the digital intermediate phase as well?
No. My job as DIT end up after when I bring the copies and the master to the production manager and send the dailies to the editor.
Yeah.
After that, I keep my backup copies for a month or 2 months.
Yes.
For safety.
Yeah.
There was a couple times when was good to have it.
Yeah.
I keep even the audio files as well.
Yeah.
And there was a time when they called me, the audio guys called me, then do you have still the footage? And I said, I have to have.
Are you required? Are you contractually required to do that, or is this just your personal?
No, it's your unwritten rule.
Yeah,
everyone, all the DITs.
Yes.
Has a DIT backup.
Got it.
There is a master, a backup, and the DIT backup.
Got it. And really, and you are, in terms of the data process on set, you are also responsible for the sound. You also you're wrangling the sound as well. Yeah.
Of course. If there is sound on the set.
Yeah. That's you as well.
Yes. Yeah. I have to. Manage this one as well.
Got it. So you don't get involved with any, you never get a phone call from the DI, the color grader, saying, "Well, something happened on the day. Can you tell me about it?" That's not you.
No.
You don't have that involvement. Yeah.
Sometimes, but they were looking for something or asking datas or something.
Yeah.
But usually, all the times we made some reports.
Got it.
From that data handler software.
Yes.
And on that report, PDF files, shooting report, thumbnail report. There is a lot of data.
Metadata. All the LUTs you use, the color space, the color. Yeah.
There was a couple times when I'm interesting something in, and I asked the DOP to invite me to the grading.
Great. Yeah.
Because on the color grading studio, then that's how we see I'm working on the set, good
absolutely.
or not.
Yeah.
And I, if I couldn't go there, I never get a feedback.
Yeah, absolutely.
From my job.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. Cool. So then, thank you for that in terms of the end-to-end process. So just perhaps a couple of final questions. The area that you're working in, the DIT, is very technology dependent. What are the challenges you face in keeping up with the technology?
They always upgrade the cameras, the computers.
Yeah.
With bigger data, bigger frame rates, higher data rates.
Yes.
Higher hard disk.
Yeah.
The speed of the data.
Yeah.
The Thunderbolt, the USB-C, it's always faster and faster.
Yeah.
You couldn't stop.
Yeah.
I mean, if you stop or if you if you quit for a year or half a year.
Yeah.
Oh my God! You have to.
Yeah.
Sold all your equipment and buy new ones.
Yeah.
Because it's every half a year there is something new.
And how do you stay on top of that? Is it just
checking with forums?
Yeah, forums
and friends.
Yeah, talking to people, keeping
with
the dialogue.
My DIT friends. Sometimes when we work with a new cameras, we always call each other.
Yeah.
Who work with them? What we have to looking for?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
There is a couple of friends who I can work with or phone with.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And then finally, the last question would just be, do you have any advice to someone who might want to get into the job of digital imaging technician?
Yes. To start to work as a DIT in this business is very hard as an independent and not known colleagues.
Yeah.
I suggest to start to be an assistant for DIT for years, as I did.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of other things what we couldn't speak about in this podcast.
Yeah.
But to live with a crew, live with the productions, set up your gears, what you have to buy, what is the production has to buy for you.
Yeah.
There is a lot of other things what you couldn't start just from the zero.
Sure. Yeah.
It's the better if you go as a DIT, start with a DIT assistant.
Yeah. Very good.
And then spare money to buy your own kit.
Yeah.
Because you can spend a lot of money for that.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're gonna look attractive to a film crew or a film production if you can bring your own.
Yes, because in the Hungarian system, and as I saw, it also is in the international system. Yeah. The DIT is always working with his own system. Yeah. Some camera rentals start to rent out some DIT kits, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, because you need to be.
It's yours.
Yeah, you need to know everything, how it feels in your hand. You need to.
It's like the sound department.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never seen a sound guy to rent. They always have his own equipment.
His or her own. They bring their own kit. Yeah. That's it. Great. All right. Well, then, thank you very much indeed for joining us on the podcast today.
Thanks to be here.
I've been Steve Collison here with Tamás Lippich on the FilmSetGeek.com podcast. Thanks for listening and goodbye.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.